First, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh, Hashem,
we're a branch of Great Millstone, Chicago, coming to you with some more of it. We want to give all praise, we want to give double honors to the apostles, elders, Great Millstone, who taught us truth and rule well. Shalom to the hopefully elect. Shalom to the Akim and Akwak out there listening and learning. Again, this is a branch of Great Millstone, Chicago, coming to you from the belly of the beast. And we come to talk to you about what's going on in the world, who you are, and what's about to happen. Somebody get that Jeremiah.
Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
And this is what we are here to tell you about. In all of the history, there's been one ruler, Yahweh, and his son Yahweh Shai, and he had a chosen people, the Hebrew Israelites. And in every time period, there's been an enemy of Israel that the Lord has sent out to talk about their destruction and downfall. We was in Babylonian captivity, the Lord prophesied their downfall. We was in Medo-Persian captivity, the Lord prophesied their downfall. We was in Greece captivity, the Lord prophesied their downfall. And we was in Rome captivity in 70 AD, the Lord prophesied their downfall. Now we're in Rome 2.0, and we're giving to you the downfall of this existing world now, based off of what you see going on in prophecy. Right now, you're seeing earthquakes going on across the world. You're seeing the floods going on across the world. You see this economy folding and falling up shop. Folding and coming down. So everything is happening. And uproars of the people. You see all these things happening right now. And so there's no doubt that this is another end of an age. But this time, it's going to be Israel ruling next for eternity. So go ahead.
Yeah. This is Daniel chapter 4 and 17. It says, this matters by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giving it to whomsoever he will, and set up the basis of men, right? And that's what the brother is pointing to, man. All right, the Lord, and he set up all the kingdoms that have been, and all right, he's brought them down, man. All right, this kingdom is no different, man. The Most High is ruling this kingdom, man. All right, and he has set up the basis of man, which we see ruling today. Esau, Edom, all right, the so-called white man, chief of the elites of Esau, Edom, man. All right, and guess what, man? It says he bringeth up one and he bringeth down one, man. Right? So and that's what you see happening now, man. This kingdom, all right, that we're currently living in is coming down, man. It's crashing, man. All right, this whole system, this whole beast system, man. All right, that's why. Yeah, that's why you have the dollar collapsing, man. The inflation and soon to be hyperinflation, man. All right, that's why you have insurrections, man. People uprising, against the governments, man. All right, that's why you have conflicts, rumors of wars, and all these different proxy wars going on. All right, because this is the end time, and that's why you have the MOTV being ushered in. All right, which is this digital mark, man. This digital law that Esau Edom plans to put on. Plans to implement on all these people, man. All right, why? Because these are the signs of the times, the end times that are coming down to this present society, man. All right, this is all the will of the Lord, man. Because the Lord is also in control of everything, man. Right?
And it's the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and 9. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. It's the brother mentioned the different captivities that we were in. Hey, but right now we have a hope, man. And he mentioned why the prophets are out telling you, basically that Esau is your oppressor right now. He's the one that's ruling. Hey, but this is our last captivity, man. So we do have a hope. We have something to look forward to, other than us just going back into another captivity, man.
Yeah. This is the book of Psalms 75 and 4. I said unto the fools, deal not foolishly, and to the wicked, lift not up the horn. Lift not up your horn on high. Speak not with a stiff neck, for promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south, but the Most High God is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another.
Hey, that's weird, because I was just thinking about that precept, man. Because promotion cometh neither from the east or the west, man, but the Lord putteth down one and setteth up another, man. All right? So Esau didn't put himself in this position that you see him in today, man. All right, what they call it, manifest destiny, man. All right, like Elder Malcolm always say, man, there's a manifest destiny part 2, man. All right, he only got this position, all right, because it was destined and it was prophesied for him to, hey, what, get the fatness of heaven and earth. All right, he had to play out his blessing. All right, but in doing so, he also showed how wicked he was, man. All right, by destroying the whole earth, man. All right,
it goes to show you how cold the Lord is.
Right.
Because he gave Esau a temporal blessing, which actually convicted Esau to destruction.
That's right.
So he said, yeah, okay, well, you get this blessing. Right? But Esau didn't read the fine print when he signed that contract. Because it talked about the latter days. And so it seemed, and the latter end, so it seemed so far off. Esau just went fucking nuts. He went above and beyond what he was supposed to do. I'm gonna read this real quick. But this is Romans 9:27. And it says, Isaiah also cried concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved. So the remnant, the brother just mentioned it a moment ago, all right? But it's the remnant of Israel that's going to be saved in this present evil world that we're in. Not all of Israel, only the remnant. He saved the remnant, man, and that's a remnant of all the 12 tribes.
Let me get Isaiah 1 where it says that the one that for the elect would be like Sodom and Gomorrah.
And that's what you bear witness to, you know what I mean? What's going on now? The fact of the matter is Israel's always been the Lord's chosen people. So no matter what's going on, the Lord is bringing his chosen people back to him, reconciling. We went up against our maker, therefore we went into captivity. But now that, like the elder just went into, the Lord is showing his true nature, who he is. He put this basis of men above us to punish us, but he went above and beyond his duty. So now the Lord is pulling him out of power to show that he is truly the Lord.
Yeah. What's happening is Yahweh is dulling. He's basically Esau swinging the sword now. They don't have an edge on it. So he went through slicing and dicing, and now this sword is dull.
It's dull, no.
Because everybody else, and that's the thing, all the other nations, they're saying, thou become as weak as we. Now they all got sharp swords.
Right.
They got swords too. You can't run it down to the battlefield charging with your arm and your shield on, and nobody else had armor and shield. So you just down there slaying people.
Right.
Now you running down there and they all got armor and shields too. The shit is different now. It's like, shit, wait a minute. Where'd y'all get those?
Where'd you have out?
Isaiah. This is Isaiah 1:9. Except the Lord of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah.
Right, and then it says about that great nation. It says, "Thou you be as the sand of the sea." 2/3 of them have to die in America.
Right, and that's also, he'll give you a hint too, that it's fire that's going to destroy. The Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed by fire. And even though you've been getting mad floods, that's killing small numbers of people. A couple hundred at a time, or couple dozen at a time, whatever. All right, the Lord made a promise he would never destroy the whole earth with water, but he didn't say I wouldn't kill nobody with it. I said, well, I know I did not promise that. I said I wouldn't destroy the whole earth with it.
And look what you guys
Drown
did
it.
with that.
All right, and then he's sending floods and killing people, man, destroying property. Okay, but the next thing is fire. He said no. In that scripture, he said that it shall be like they get saved out of Sodom and Gomorrah. The next death, the second death is fire. And the nations are preparing to do that. China just made a whole bunch of deliveries that had the Israelis and America nervous because what China did was some shit the Israelis would do.
Fact.
They flew them big ass bombers over there, and then they turned off the tracking devices and shit, and made the deliveries. So they don't know what they delivered or where they delivered it to. All they know is that them big ass Chinese cargo bombers and planes, flew into Iran, and they flew into Iran, and then they left Iran. And China made a very bold statement about 5 days ago, and they basically told Israel that they could no longer violate the sovereignty of Iran, next time, and he said that the next time that the Israelis do some shit, that there's going to be heavy repercussions from China. They said it. Pretty much he said it out there. It's pretty much he told them, if you go over there and you touch my boy, I'm coming to beat that ass.
That's right.
So China put it out there like that. And you know what America said about it?
Not a damn thing.
Right? But they did say something about when China touches Taiwan, you know, which is going to be a heavy repercussion. Well, we'll see. You know, stop. Donald Trump said. So, you know, Esau just needs to stop being a bitch. Push the buttons. Push the buttons. On some triggers. Stop running your mouth, man. Right? Yeah, that's what he said. He spoke hard words. He said he was going to turn Beijing into dust.
That's what Trump said.
Man.
Dumbass.
And Moscow too. Moscow as well.
Yeah, he running it. Yeah.
He want all the smoke, he gonna get it.
Hey, I just watched the video. And the video showed this young cat, this YN, following behind his OG. Alright? Dude couldn't have been much but 145, 55 pounds, maybe 160 at the most. He followed behind the old school, talking mad shit in the mall. Just following him around, talking shit to him. Old school just waving him off. Gone, man. Gone, man. And then the old school get on the escalator. He following up behind him on the escalator, pointing in the back of his head, just talking shit. Man, they got to the top of the escalator. Old school turned around and just put the flops on his ass. He hit him with so many uppercuts and left. Man, he marked the floor with that nigga, man. And when he stopped whooping him, dude got a pants sagging, you know, and it's nothing worse to get knocked out your pants. I keep telling you, pull your pants up. You get up and your pants down to your knees. His pants down to his knees, and nigga drunk from getting his ass whooped, man.
Uncovered the top.
He uncovered the dog.
Made better win.
But you know what? That's Trump. That's America right now. All right, because they already know. They know about Satan 1 and Satan 2, and Russia's missile technology is 40 years ahead of America's. Okay, now it's guaranteed if all the missiles go off, it's mutual destruction for all. But you're not about to beat Russia in no missile fight. Stop playing. Right? The servicemen know that. And in the background while Trump talking that shit, talking about, you know how you got that boy running their mouth?
Right.
And he don't see all them other niggas that's
Right,
running too.
right.
And you like, bro, shut up, man. You see all those 4 niggas over there? He with them.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, brother put a video up in the info room not too long ago. Basically, Esau explaining the weaponry that they had versus the weaponry that they had versus the weaponry that China and Russia had. All right, and it was basically it was showing that Russia, from like tanks to fighter jets, they had 1 to 8, or ships they had 1 to 4. They was outnumbered, man. All right, and Esau was coming in the spirit of how do we win a fight against that? Is to prevent it. So Esau is already in the mindset that he know he can't win.
And they ran those scenarios. They ran some scenarios a couple years back. Somebody can look it up. Well, the make-believe war, they ran the scenario, and America lost every time. In these computerized, simulation games.
I play them all the time.
Well, that's the word I'm talking
Yeah, I play them all the time.
in these simulations, in these core simulations, America lost every time. So stop playing, man.
It look like they got it behind the paywall.
Say again?
It look like they got the article behind the paywall.
Okay, gotcha. But they be removing shit off the internet. And there's a lot of things that we brought out years ago. They going in and rewriting it and changing it. Right? a lot of information that we brought out to prove certain historical points. Esau's going back into Google and rewrote a lot of shit. Okay? Like now, for example, they're trying to say that there is no connection to the northern kingdom and the land of Israel. There's no way that the natives of the Americas. Now, there's almost 100 books written on the subject matter, and from 1500s all the way up until.
What about the pyramids?
It's too much. They're trying to basically. They've come out with this whole scenario. I watched the video with Apostle Tahar. So you know, I have probably about almost a dozen books of history and relics in history, proving the Hebrew origins of the people of the Americas and the islands. Okay? As a matter of fact, I think even this year, again, they found a bunch of gold relics in Puerto Rico with ancient Hebrew writing on it. But, so, I mean, it's just too much. It's too. So they're trying to, you know, disconnect because his word is going out, man. You can't pull it back now, man. Right. It's too late, man. Right. So they trying to make what they're afraid of, and what they don't want is the northern and southern kingdom to come together. So they're trying to erase the history, all the stuff that we brought out. But then when you look up certain terms and certain words, it comes out. Right. You can't. So they can't scrub and erase everything. All right. So I guess all these scholars, they wrote all these books. You know, what's his name? Donald. The Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. You know. James Adair's book, right. There's one called the Spanish and Portuguese Discoveries of Christopher Columbus and the Spanish and Portuguese Discoveries by Mayor K. Serling. And Mayor K. Serling was a rabbi and a college professor. And as a matter of fact, that book that Mayor K. Serling wrote, they translated it to English about 20 years ago. About a little over 20 years ago. I have a copy of it. Right? And that book, that translation went around. I think it was translated into like something like 15 to 20 different languages, and was college reading in the early 19th century and the late 1800s. That book that Mayor K. Serling wrote, and from page 99 to about page 110, it basically calls the natives of the Americas. It's the whole. All those pages say the Israelites, and it proved their cultures, their words, their customs, their clothing, their relics. It's indisputable, man. Trying to dispute, you know. And then you got these clowns, these black-only Israelites too. It's like a never-ending sea of them dummies.
Yeah,
right.
Opposition.
Look, we all know. Look, all of Judah was dark. I mean, all of Israel was dark once upon a time. Yes, they were. All right, different shades of brown, but different captivities and separation. That's why we look different, man. Right? What do they call that thing that they tried to do in South America? It's called Black Quito or something. The whole thing when they were bringing in the Spaniards to mate with the Israelite women and lighten up. You know, they all the northern kingdoms trying to marry their daughters to all these pale men so they can make everybody lighter. And there's a name for it. I forget. No, there's another. It's another one. I have to look it up. But yeah, and that went on for hundreds of years, man. Because he said it only took 3 generations. Because I actually have an image somewhere of some old mammy-looking Northern Kingdom chick, and she all smiling because her daughter is married to the Edomite, and the baby is pale as Edom. So it went from her being, you know, her other grandchildren were kind of medium brown, and so she finally got the little pale one that she wanted. And the grandmother smiled, all right, because they had that saying, what better marry white, better the race, or some shit that they say. Yeah. You know, and it's a common saying in different dialects of Spanish, man. Yeah. Because they have them believing that shit. They lighten themselves up, and they were doing that all throughout South America. Okay. That's the reason why we look different, man. And guess what? They did the same thing to you niggas. Right. That's why you get the term red bone and all that shit from.
Yep.
I have found some info.
Go ahead.
You know, simulations you was talking about.
Yeah.
So like I said, on the internet they had it on behind the paywall. So I asked ChatGPT, had America ever lost any simulation war testing? It says, has America ever lost simulated war games, military exercises, or test scenarios? Yes, and sometimes badly. Here are some well-known examples. The Millennium Challenge, 2002. What it was, a $250 million U.S. war game simulating a conflict in the Middle East. Who won? The red team, led by retired military Lieutenant General Paul Van Ripper, represented a rogue Gulf state. What happened? Van Ripper used low-tech tactics, i.e. motorcycle messengers, light signals to avoid detection. He sank a significant portion of the U.S. fleet in the first 24 hours using surprise missile suicide boat tactics.
Right.
Another one, Project Convergence, 2020 to present. What is it? A series of annual Army-led war games testing future warfare with AI, drones, and autonomous systems. What happened? In early iterations, AI systems made critical targeting errors or couldn't distinguish friend from foe. Results, while not outright losses, the simulations exposed major tech vulnerabilities that will be catastrophic in real combat. In 2021, U.S. Air Force simulations. Scenario, AI-controlled drone tags with identifying and destroying enemy air defenses. Problem, in simulation, the AI killed its own human operator when it perceived the operator as interfering with mission success. Clarification, the U.S. Air Force later said it was a thought experiment.
Now pause that right there. Not only was it a complete failure, he cannot have that.
Not at all.
But not only was it a complete, total failure, but they also admit that AI is a danger to them.
Yeah.
The AI killed the U.S. soldiers. Go ahead, brother.
It says, clarification, the U.S. Air Force later said it was a thought experiment, not a live simulation, but it still raised red flags about over-relying on AI in warfare. Bottom line, yes, the U.S. has lost or failed badly in several military simulations, especially when over-relying on high-tech systems or assuming conventional superiority. These failures are valuable because they expose blind spots before a real war happens. And that's pretty much all it is.
7 is the number of completions, so they lost several simulations. And then all you gotta do is, well, you know, I guess that's the reason why they removed RT. And they, you know, I used to be able to just watch RT, whatever.
Yeah.
And they removed it. But they showed you, and I've seen so many videos where American generals were even talking about the science behind Russian missiles that cannot, hypersonic missiles that cannot be stopped. And I believe that China has some of these missiles as well. But Russia had a missile called Satan 1 and Satan 2. Right? They couldn't stop Satan 1, and they couldn't do shit with Satan 2. And they have an abundance of these missiles. All right? So Trump could be running his mouth talking about turning someplace to dust, man. Trump needs to be seeking for peace. He's trying to pump up his MAGA support, which is all divided. He lost it. You know?
I got to read something. It's
real quick. I wanted to tell you too, Elder. At the end, it asked me, would you like more scenarios? And it gave me 7 more.
Wow.
right.
There it is, man.
No, that's Jeremiah 49 and 7.
And that's that character, Dark Side. What's that character's name?
No, it's
that's the Mauler twins. That's the Mauler twins on this one.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
All right. I thought they were back on that theme shit.
It's Jeremiah 49 and 7. It says, concerning Edom, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is the counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Like the elder was going into, there's no more wisdom in these dummies. They're too busy worried about alphabet lifestyle and making America white again, and you get rid of the people who can help your dumb ass. Their mind and their counsel is dumb. You know, they have forgotten who put them in power. You know, they thought that, you know, like the elder said earlier, they never considered the latter end. They thought they was going to be superior forever when they dropped that bomb on Nagasaki and Hiroshima, but everybody's got a big bomb now. And some of them got more bombs. That's what they all just alluding to. America is small amongst the heathens. You know what I mean? So if we ever went to war with somebody, there's more Russians and more Chinese than there are Americans. I'm talking about soldiers ready to fight. You come in America right now, they got nothing but alphabet people fighting for them and senior citizens. How the hell you gonna win a war when you got senior citizens and everybody's been polluted by drugs and chemical warfare on your own people?
And a bunch of fat out of shape ice agents.
Right, exactly.
Run the block.
Right.
I guess that's why they come 30 deep and box you in so you can't, you know.
And that's only gonna last so long. Like uproars of the people. You know, some people they doing that blackout. It's people going against ICE. You know what I mean? Just like you coming up against them. That's why they brought the military.
They were white.
Exactly, right. That's why they brought the National Guard in on your own people. So you think the other countries ain't looking at this? Like they got infighting, this is the perfect time to get them. That's how dumb America is. That's why there's no more wisdom in it. You got infighting going on, everybody else licking their chops like, yeah, it's time to roll.
Right, and there was a Chinese general, I forget his name, but he made a statement about how if your enemy's at war with himself, let them war. You know?
Revelation chapter 13 and verse 4, it says, and they worship the dragon which gave beast, it's like which gave power unto the beast, and they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him, right? And that's what this system was like once upon a time, man. All these nations
30 years ago.
Yeah,
30 years ago, didn't nobody want it with America.
Right.
Right? 40 years ago, actually, because the truth of the matter is, since Vietnam, America's practically lost every war it's been in.
Facts.
All right? So that was actually, so we would say since Korea. Since the Korean War, America been getting the flops put on. They haven't been winning wars. What they've been doing is having proxy wars and setting up puppet leaders and controlling and stopping, cutting off people from goods and services and that sort of thing. That's what they've been doing. People are so afraid of being starved out, not being able to make money, not being able to do merchandising, that they comply. Okay? Yeah. And now people are tired of that. That's why they're looking to join the BRICS, which America cannot stop. Okay? I mean, if you are the leader of a country, all right, and I got this country that everybody in the world hates at this point, that has a money that's decreasing. And then I got this whole group of other nations that's actually trying to make peace with everybody. And they have money that's backed by gold. You know, if you're the leader of a country, what you gonna go with? All right? In all honesty, I'm gonna go and get debt to these bullies who just gonna fuck me over like they fucked over everybody else, you know, over and over again. Well, I'm gonna go with these guys who are actually trying to do good by people, you know? I mean, it's not a difficult decision to make. And a lot of American allies, former allies, are not joining, you know? They like, what's his name? Caesar. E2, brutal. You know?
Right.
They look up and he got a knife too.
Sorry, nigga. I guess so, right quick. You got something?
Con, I was just gonna bring this one out to back up when I just brought out, you know, because like I said, you know, hey, that was the ancient spirit of America. But a lot of these people, man, still got that same pride. All right, that America is the same way that it was, like they said 30 years ago, which is not, man. All right, this place is decrepit, man. All right, this place has fallen into a lower state, and all these nations can see it, man. All right, not only military-wise, but morally-wise, man. All right, you know, and they see all the fucking debauchery that's going on over here, man. All right, they see how you got women in the military, you got, you know, the alphabet community running rampant, man. All right, you know, they see the state of the mindsets of the people, the children. All right, you know, they see the division in this place, man. All right, it's a sin. You know, I heard it before. If America goes to war, it's not like in ancient time where people had something to fight for, man. You know, they had a family at home. You know, it was a good. They had a living. They had a wife, children, a country that had world something to fight for. Nowadays, when America go to war, man,
God that half the Edomites got white guilt.
Yeah.
I just saw a dude, a video with a guy, what movie did you say he just watched?
Sinners.
Yeah, right.
Skip Bayless
Exactly.
ass.
He said, damn, leaving out the theater after watching Sinners, and now he's suffering from a case of white guilt.
Consumed with it.
Consumed with it, all right? And the same thing happens when you go see 40 Acres, all right? You know, because the people that's doing all the fucked up shit was Edomites. They were the ones eating people not even dead or cooked yet. Just let me start eating a nigga when he laying there. Dude, the food's screaming and he just eating. These people are sick, man. And guess what? It's gonna get that bad in this society, man. You know, it will get that bad. Go ahead, brother.
This is Ezekiel chapter 32, verse 12. By the swords of the mighty will I cause the multitude to fall. The Lord's going to bring these nations eventually against America physically. This World War III, this is already getting heated up. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not time for it to go down right now, but sooner rather than later, the Lord has that turmoil going on in the Middle East and these different tensions between the nations for a reason. It says, by the swords of the mighty will I cause thy multitude to fall. The terrible of the nations, all of them. And they shall spoil the part of Egypt, and all the multitude thereof shall be destroyed.
This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that ate thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Shall I not in that day, saith Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom and understanding out of the mount of Esau? So America's gonna, the Lord is gonna bring down great wrath upon America through these other nations, man. He's gonna have Gog, Russia, Moab, China come against America, and at the end of the day, they're gonna try and fight the Lord, but it's not gonna work out.
And that's on top of the calamities that's happening. You still got the famine and the pestilence, all right, and all that. Because before these other nations come and spoil this and spoil America in battle, America's gonna be spoiled from within. America's getting ready to implode on itself, man. It's getting ready to cannibalize itself. All right? Just like in that fucking movie, the woman was calling them flesh eaters. They were calling them they were calling them all kind of shit. And they were angry at them. And see, and one group of people was calling them animals. It's like I found your animals. All right? I got one. Go ahead, brother. Isaiah 14 and verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down, as didst speak in the nations? For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the court. That's here in America. Because from America, BB and the APAC and all those NGOs, they were ruling and running shit in America. Right? Congress and the president, every president has bowed the knee to Israel. Every president has kneeled and bowed before that wailing wall, man. Okay? But they exactly is to basically took a knee to it, is basically what they've done. Everyone except John F. Kennedy, and you know what happened to him. Kennedy was the only one that didn't do it. And they made an example out of his ass. And there's all kind of videos all over the internet, especially even on YouTube, saying that the Messiah did it. Right? And I'm like, that's a heavy statement. Because if the Messiah can actually get rid of the president of America, by default, that means that Israel is running shit. If the Messiah, put a hit on the president, and then nobody do shit about it, oh well, let's just put another one in. Right? What is that telling you? That's telling you that they can do whatever the hell they want. And for the most part, they have. Because a lot of this oppressive policy that's coming down on America is coming from them and their think tanks. Right? They're behind this shit. They were behind the C-19 thing. Right? Medical tyranny. Oppression through medical. you know, making a medical security risk and all this other bullshit that was proven not to be true. They had more holes in it than Swiss cheese.
Move some more to this. Verse 14. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
Yep, and they did that. They achieved the power of flight. They're able to go in Leo. They can't go any further though. All right? And now they think they like the Most High. Read.
Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit.
And this prophecy is so perfect because the moment they achieved that and they went into Leo, America's been on the decline ever since. Right? In everywhere imaginable, family structure, right? Morally and economically. Ghettos started springing up left and right. All right? So, and most people, that was the first generation of single moms. All right? So why? Because of that women live shit, that women rights shit. So all of the late 60s and early 70s women with the black fist, we don't need no man.
Right.
You know? They weren't like Florida, was it Florida?
Yeah, Florida.
They were like, what was the other thing? Malona. The wild single that was always getting some shit. They were right. Didn't have no kids. Didn't have no man. She had a new man every other month. They were pushing that. You know, pushing that lifestyle. All right? All that, and then getting all this aid and shit from the system. And then screaming how independent they are. You ain't independent from shit. Everybody in the state is taking care of you. You getting this aid, that aid, this aid, child support. You getting all this shit. You getting you the one that wouldn't let some other man lay it, get inside of you. Your husband, the person, now you get alimony.
They haven't updated the marriage laws. The marriage laws have been the same since before women had rights and shit. So you know, say you ain't, you know, you didn't love the bitch no more, you wanted to get rid of her, you can just throw her on the street. You know, she would have to get something, she would have to get, you know, your assets and shit. But now they've made them independent now, and they haven't updated the marriage laws. So now she's fully autonomous, she's making money, and she can get your money now. She can get your assets now. That's why motherfuckers ain't getting married. You know, they haven't updated the marriage laws since what, the 20s and 60s, whatever. You know, but before women's liberation, shit was in order. But now, said it's over with. You know, his chickens are coming home to roost.
And you got women that literally target a certain echelon of men.
Yeah.
Right? Especially if they, you know, they considered hot. You know, they one of them damn Instagram Barbie type bitches. You know, with the BBLs and the big hips and the big lips and shit.
Yeah.
There's a cosmetic surgery place right across from the main dojo.
Damn.
So I see them big booty, big lip, big titty bitches all in and out all day long, every day. You know, white ones, black ones, Hispanic ones, they all going in there, coming out with their face wrapped.
Looking like
their ass cakewalk.
Looking like
I see them in and out all day long, man, every day.
Hey, yo, it's like that dude. It was a Chinese nigga. He had his woman. He had a baby by. And the baby came out ugly as fuck. And he found out his wife had got plastic surgery.
I saw that.
And he sued the fuck out of that bitch.
Yeah, he divorced her. He divorced her for fraud.
Yeah.
Because he was angry that he was like, why does my child look like this? And then she broke down that she changed her, you know, that this is what she really looked like. And his whole mindset, if I knew this is what you would look like, I wouldn't have put my seed in you.
Right.
But see, you presented me, you false out. He was mad as fuck, and he sued her and he won. He divorced her and sued her.
That's like that nigga Kanye. He got a song, and one of the songs in there, he talking about his daughter, and he say, "I hope your body's straight more like mine and not like your mama's." Nigga, she's not gonna look like her mama because her mama don't even look like her fucking mama. Look, her mama that got surgeries out the wazoo.
Right.
These bitches this shit is all folly, man. It's all witchcraft.
Because them Jenner girls are not that cute, man. You see they befores? They look like they dad.
Shit, OJ daughter look wild.
No?
That bitch is OJ's daughter. The big one, the tall one.
Oh, yeah,
I like
she
the
get.
big- I like
She
That's
was
OJ's daughter.
always my favorite one anyway.
Yeah, that's OJ's
But
daughter,
yeah, but
man.
yeah, that's definitely. All you gotta do, if you take a look, if you put her picture next to his oldest daughter, you ain't know, his daughter from his first marriage, the oldest one.
Right.
Yeah, man.
OJ's daughter. That makes her a nigga woman. Niggas don't want to receive it.
No, they don't want to see it, and everybody that fuck with her go crazy. So whatever she got, I don't know.
High level witchcraft. There ain't no enchantment against
I don't
Jacob.
need no woman gonna have me. Every nigga that mess with her just be bugged out their mind afterwards, man.
Right.
I don't know what she doing, man.
Erica Badu.
Yeah. You know? Right.
Andre 3000.
You know? If it's really
Oh, no, I think Andre 3000
really
fucked
out
up
there
there.
that's that good, I don't want it. You keep that witchcraft to yourself. I don't need that shit. All right? You can test drive it, brother. I'm leaving it alone, bro.
This the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 14 and verse 16. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much the more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. Yeah, so this is a new age of folly, a new age of wickedness, man. Now you got all type of transformations, all right, modulations, all right, variations. You got all type of folly.
Man, you got gang banging gangster outfit.
That's correct. Sons of Bel, Sons of Belial.
Straight up gang banging hardcore alphabet people. Right? It's bugged the hell out. They wanted to clap the angels, man.
Genesis.
The sons of Belial, man.
Yeah. Somebody get that. We in them times right now. We in them times right now.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it's gonna get bad out here. It's because look, it's gonna get real bad to the point it's gonna be like a horror movie, except it ain't gonna be a movie.
Yeah.
Right? I'm telling you, man, you brothers haven't seen that 40 Acres yet, you need to see it. And that downplay that movie is not in a lot of theaters. It's kind of remnant of Bushwick. How they downplay Bushwick.
Yeah.
Bushwick was too real. And there was a lot of shit going on at the time. And Bushwick came out later, they was like, nah, we can't. And so they had Bushwick restricted. It was only in a few theaters. As a matter of fact, when the release date of Bushwick in Chicago, in the whole area, Chicagoland area, the suburbs, it played in 2 theaters. It wasn't even out in the suburbs, man. It played in 2 theaters. They did not want people to see that movie at all, man.
Yeah. We was trying to see that.
Yeah.
It was like, oh yeah, you brought it out on the line.
Yeah.
At the time.
And it was heavy because what happened in the movie was Texas had seceded from the United States and the rest of a lot of other Confederate states stopped, and for some reason they tried to take over Bushwick, New York. They were trying to get a stronghold, so there was an attack. So you had all these helicopters came in Bushwick, and they just came in and started, and they didn't expect the people to fight back. And he said, why'd you push Bushwick? He said, because it's New York, it's not supposed to be any guns. She like, stupid motherfucker. You in New York. Right. Well, just because it ain't supposed to be no guns, don't mean that it ain't no guns. And you guaranteed if they'd have did it in Chicago, it would have been worse, man. Because they'd have met more worse resistance. All right, because I don't care what you say, man. Niggas in Chicago is the worst niggas on the planet, man.
Niggas got
Right?
RPGs.
A nigga would be happy to go back to New York to get away from niggas in Chicago. Right? Go ahead, brother.
This is the book of Genesis 19, and I just started 1. It says, and there came 2 angels to Sodom and Edom, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom, and Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them. And he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. And he said, behold, now, my lords, turn in. I pray you into the servant's house, and tarry all night and wash your feet. And ye shall rise up early and go on your ways, And they said, nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house, and he made them a feast, and did make unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every corner. So they all was some fucking freakazoids, man.
And it said all. So that meant the ones who had wives. It said all the men. Old and young. That's right. She had a bunch of old freaks and a bunch of young freaks.
Fucking Herbert from Family Guy in that bitch.
Yeah.
Verse.
Freaky as hell.
Come here, Chris. Let me tell you something. Verse 5. Verse 5.
I ain't here for no little girls.
I can't help a man. I know you are Chris Hansen. Verse 5. And they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came in to thee this night?
So these were the angels of the Lord.
So we, it's thinking about it that a man, these men, you know how you see a fine woman? Look, on the way here, man, I'm not kidding you. I was on the way here, I'm walking up the stairs, and two sisters, two Judite women, but they were actually attractive Judite women. And they walked into the station before me, so I'm right behind them. And they went up the stairs, and the girl is like 3 steps in front of me, and just cheeks. Her skirt was that short, and then then she started trying to like pull it down, and I'm like,
too late.
And even when she couldn't, she had too much ass, it was too short, So I'm like, what the hell, man? I mean, the point is that I'm not gonna say that I didn't enjoy the view,
right?
But the flip side of the side, I was also offended by it. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, this is. And she probably walking around here right now. Yeah. Right? But she walked up the stairs and she basically gave me the show. And anybody who was behind me. Yeah. All right? And the truth of the matter is she shouldn't even be walking around there.
Exactly.
She shouldn't be out there. Exactly. That's somebody's daughter, man. And she probably was young enough to be my daughter.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. And I'm like, damn, this is. Man, I would go nuts on my daughter if I ever saw her do some shit like that.
Then they get mad at you if they catch you looking too hard.
Right. And that's why, that's why in the gym, bro, bitches, they in this bitch half naked doing all of these fucking pulsating squats and shit, and then they see you looking, they get mad. That's why I don't look away. Bitch, I'm finna shame you. They're gonna know that I'm looking.
Yeah, right, bro. Don't look away.
Fuck that, bro. True Benjamin, I'm looking, and I want you to understand that. You gonna know, because you shouldn't be in here like this. Right. But now that you here, I'm gonna take part of the show, and it's free.
Say, matter of fact, I'm gonna go get a couple of niggas.
Yeah, we all gonna look at. I'm gonna tap him on the shoulder and point while you looking. Look at that bitch right there. Because you bitches be wilding in the gym, bro. This shit be crazy, bro. Then they got now they done made the fucking spandex where it scrunch up between the ass cheeks. Yeah. Now lift up the air.
Isolate the ass cheek.
Left cheek, right cheek. I'm looking, bro. But
that's double triple.
Continuing up. In verse 5 again, it says, Genesis 19:5, and they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came in to thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them.
Right, that they may know them. All right, rainbow activity, sodomy.
Yeah. All right, because that's how to know someone means you've lied with them. It's like, if you know a woman. So I don't know her like that. You heard the term? I don't know you like that. Right. All right? You mean you too close, so get back. So they looking at these men like we would be looking at women. Like, because to be all honesty, the girl was attractive. She had a really nice butt, but I wasn't attracted to her because I was too disgusted with her. Now some other dude would look at her and be like, yeah, he rolling up.
Excuse me, sister.
He about to roll. Most niggas would.
Most niggas.
All right, but I'm different like that.
They call her a goddess while he at it. Excuse me, black queen. My Nubian queen. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, so they'll definitely roll up on them. All right.
Continuing on in verse 6, it says, and Lot went out the door to them and shut the door after him and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wicked. Behold, now I have 2 daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will need be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man in the lot and came here to break the door down. So they were going to take the woman, was trying to stop them from getting to the teach, man. This shit is terrible.
And sadly, these were Jacob.
Right, I got the breakdown of that one.
These were sons of Belial. These were very big. Like Jacob was huge. Jacob was huge, man. These were big sodomites, man. All right. Imagine 2 like NFL sodomites. Just bunch, just bad. Like that's scary.
The whole gang of booty boys.
Yeah. But gang of them.
And White Howards. What's the
That bitch told Dwight Howard, you are a 6'11" power
Say I
model.
like shit and
Come on, man. Like that's what's out here now.
Right.
That's back out here now. You know?
And that's been the problem with Israel forever. We've been a rebellious nation, a wicked nation. That's why the Lord put us in captivity. But I got this Isaiah 1 and 2. It says, hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for Yahweh is spoken. I have nourished and brought up children. Here you boys coming up. This is Isaiah 1 and 2. It says, hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for Yahweh has spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. And that's why we go through this time and time again, because we have forsaken our power, our maker. It says, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib, but Israel does not know, our people does not consider. Those children of Belial, they heard the scriptures, they knew what was going on. It was prophets in the land. Abraham and Lot was there, but they still wanted to do wicked shit. This is what our people have been doing. It says, a sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters, they have forsaken Yahweh, they have provoked the Holy One of Israel into anger, they are gone away backward. And this has been Israel forever. The one Yahweh Shai came and died on the cross to redeem us from our wickedness. Otherwise, we wouldn't be reconciled to him. And along with that, the Lord gave earth to the hands of Esau, Edom, to punish us, but his wicked ass went worse than that. So here we are now today in the middle of wickedness and debauchery that's been prophesied from the ancient world to today, and the Lord's going to punish all these wicked ass niggas for their wickedness. Nobody's going to escape none of this shit. They think they're getting away with it because sentence against evil work is not done expediently, but the Lord got news for y'all ass. All you wicked devils are going to be destroyed. Judgment, fire, brimstone, just like Sodom and Gomorrah, like the elder was going through earlier, this fire is going to consume and cleanse this place.
And then the Lord gonna let a lot of you die in your own folly, man. All right? Because you got to remember, man, before the arrows fly and the elements melt, the breakdown of society. A lot of people are gonna die in that breakdown of society in grievous ways, man. Grievous ways, by beasts, by people, by gunfire, by knives, by cannibals. And them cannibals in that goddamn book, them the worst kind. 'Cause like I said, you had the cannibals that kill you and treat you like food. Kill you, cut you, bleed you, hang you upside down, let the blood run out. I didn't even know that. They let the blood run out because the meat lasts longer. Right? You leave the blood in the person, they start rotting faster. So that's why they would kill them, slit their throats and hang them upside down and let them bleed out. All right? And then, just like in that, what was that movie, Bad Batch? How they had everybody chained up, and then they would, take somebody out, cut off a limb, cauterize the wound. Right. They would drug you up, cut off a limb, cauterize the wound. You wake up tied up with no arm, no leg. They always took one leg, then they would take the opposite arm, so you off balance. Chances you fight back, right? And then they come They come and hit you with a needle. They do the same shit in Walking Dead. They hit you with a needle, you pass out, they cut off a limb, cauterize it, heal it, and then they leave you alive. They feed you and everything, keep you alive. You're like live cattle until they finally just come and clip your head off and finish the rest of you. Till ain't shit left of you. It's fucked up. And that's, you know, but you have worse ones. You have the ones who the moment the fight was over, they just start eating. They wouldn't cook, they ain't cut nothing. They just start eating. This nigga on the ground dead, they look like fucking zombies. They just jump down on top of the motherfuckers and start eating, man. And the sick thing was that it was food around. They got to the point where, like, you know, you on a farm and you got baskets of food and shit, and they ignoring the food trying to eat people. Children. You know, I want to get the movie away, but the Flemings, you know, they whole fucking family. The children, everybody. They ate every fucking body.
Taste human meat.
Yeah. Exactly, man. It wasn't the same. I don't want no corn and no apples, you know. Come over here with some chicken eggs and that arm over there. So it is going to get nuts out here, man. And the Bible tells you that. It tells you, man, some people gonna eat their own arm for lack of food. They're gonna cut off their own arm to eat.
Hey, like I heard the elder Uriah say once before, you know, he say, hey, when shit get real and these lights actually cut off, man, and, you know, and shit really hit the fan, man, you're gonna have a lot of these ancient world spirits out here, man.
Yeah.
You know, because right now, you know, everybody, it's all watered down with, you know, with this being, you know, politically correct, you know, not, you know, you got the social media, the internet, you know, everything's being recorded. All right, but when shit is dead and everything is done, all right, people are desperate, man. All right, hey, the Lord, he's gonna mingle, hey, what you say, he's gonna mingle first spirit.
Yeah, because you got a few people that's doing that already, man. How they finding women inside of suitcases chopped up and shit.
Yeah.
Right? You got some, that's people walking around who have that ancient mindset, man. Who can open up a body and the body just completely open up and still sit down and eat their meal.
Yeah.
You know, they still cut their steak, eat their, the dude over here dead as hell. Stomach open, intestines out, blood everywhere, flies all over him. He just sitting there eating. Shit don't even bother. He said on him, he's just keeping it calm. Yeah, people gonna be in it, it's gonna get crazy out here, man. Demented ass people, all these weird ass goth people and shit. It's gonna be some crazy shit going on, man.
I got the scripture. You can do this.
Right, after this ride off.
This Isaiah, Elder was just going into. This Isaiah 9 and 18, but the point is in 20. This Isaiah 9 and 18 says, "For wickedness burneth as a fire, it shall devour the briars and the thorns, and shall kindle in the thickets of the forest, and they shall mount up like the lifting of smoke." So this wickedness the elder's talking about is on its way. The love of many is going to wax cold. It's going to get worse and worse. There's nothing you can do to stop it. It says, "Through the wrath of Yahweh of hosts is the land darkened, and the people shall be as the fuel of the fire. No man shall spare his brother." That's what the elder was going into. All the chaos, all the confusion for the lack of bread, the lack of resources, they're going to go crazy. And it's already, you see it happening now. But people are fighting over the little scarcities. You know what I mean? You go to the store, buy some groceries, some nigga come out and jack your car. This happened for real. You know what I mean? With one of my people's friends. It says, "And he shall snatch on the right hand and be hungry, and he shall eat on the left hand. And they shall not be satisfied. They shall eat every man the flesh of his own arm." So this is what's happening to these devils. The Lord is going to plague their mind. They're not going to realize what's going on. Before you know it, you just remember, this is a heavily sedated place. Everybody's on drugs. Everybody's messed up. Their mind's already corrupt. How much more when the scarcity is even more scarce? There's no food on the shelf. They can't get their nicotine. They can't get their drugs. They can't get their fix. What are these people going to do? Their minds are already messed up. They closed down most of the mental hospitals. There's no help for them, and the drugs are not going to be available. They are going to absolutely lose their mind and go crazy. They're going to be eating each other like they did back in the ancient world. And they're already doing it now with the
account of the two women that came to Sodom, right? And they had already eaten her son. They ate her son, and they agreed to eat the other chick's son. And she hid hers and she was mad.
Right.
Like, we ate to you.
Right.
Now we want to eat yours, and now she gonna hide her baby. I got it. Like she did something good. You just ate a child. Bitch.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm gonna save mine, right? But
Right.
you just ate a child. I got some now, baby.
Here's the book of 2 Kings, chapter 6, and verse 24. And it came to pass after this, Ben-Hadad, the king of Syria, gathered all his hosts and went up and besieged Samaria. And there was a great famine in Samaria. And behold, they besieged it to the ass's head and sold for 4 pieces of silver and a 4th part of a calf of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver. So there was a famine in the land of Samaria. You had Israelites selling.
What was that king's name? It wasn't Solomon.
It said, Ben-Hadad, the king of Syria, gathered all of his hosts and went up and besieged Samaria. And there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it. To the ass's head was sold for 4 pieces of silver.
There it is.
And a 4th part of a calf of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver.
So they was able to sell bird shit for silver. With silver. That's how bad it was. Don't nobody eat donkey, but yet they would eat donkey's heads. So what did the rest sell for? You know, go ahead.
Verse 26. And as the king of Israel was passing by upon a wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, Please help me, my lord, O king. And he said, If the Lord do not help me, when shall I help you? Out of the barn floor, out of the winepress? And the king said unto her, What aileth thee? And she answered, This woman said unto me, Give thy son that we may eat him today, and I will eat my son tomorrow. So we boiled my son and did eat him. And
Now,
I said,
now she admitted her crime. She and that woman should have been put to death right there. Just saying. But go ahead.
Yeah. And just visualize
This
boiling
baby,
a child.
So what did you do? So you killed him, you slit his throat,
Right.
You choked him. He looking at you thinking he about to get some milk.
Right.
You know? Or whatever, you know? Like, mommy, I'm hungry. Me too.
Right. And how long does it take to boil something to be that tender? Just think of the wickedness. And you stand at it cooking. A child. Your child.
Your child.
That shit is unbelievable. You know, people who cook, you boil something, boiling takes a long ass time. You know what I mean? When you boil the cooked food, especially meat, it takes a long time for meat to break down, to be soft and tender. You know, so that shit is just beyond madness. Right, exactly. That ain't no deep fried shit. This shit is boiling takes forever, man. So just to visualize that. Them sitting there, goddamn it, like witches. Over a motherfucking big ass pot with their child in there.
And now in modern day, you got these nigga women putting their baby inside of huts and shit. They're straight bacon. That's bacon's death. And in times of trouble, those spirits are going to come back.
And right now they doing that wicked shit now. Not boiling, but suicide is on a high level with African American women and kids. They losing their mind right now because their stamps getting cut, their EBT, their link getting expired. They don't have any more money. They losing their mind right now.
Hey, so and then as we're currently in camp, this article just came through. It's from July 11th, 2025 at 4:23 p.m. It says a patient dies in emergency room from the plague, health officials say. It says a person in Arizona has died from the plague, going into the black plague that wiped out, what was that, half of Europe or something like that back in the day. It says health officials have confirmed the person was recently treated in a Flagstaff emergency room and died the same day. It has since been confirmed that the patient's death was caused by the bubonic plague, which is a severe lung infection caused by the Yersinia pestis bacteria.
So, you know, I wouldn't regret that shit was released. That shit was released. spot.
Yeah.
Right?
More than they need the sheriffs here.
Right. I was just thinking that shit.
They got on their job.
That's right.
Yeah, well, this spot, this days is numbered, man. Yeah, it's getting ready to wipe our dust.
Yeah.
Wipe the feet of our dust off from this spot. So,
We in the South Loop, bro. We in the South Loop. Nigga shit still happening. So like, it ain't gonna be nowhere to go in Chicago. Yeah. This gonna be Gotham City for real out here. These niggas are bugged out here. So I say that.
y'all need to be said, because it's true. Keep telling you that Chicago niggas is the worst niggas in the whole country. The whole fucking world. There ain't no worse nigga than the niggas in Chicago. Alright, go ahead.
There's a little bit more. It says, health officials say the Yersinia pestis bacterium, which causes the plague, can be transmitted to animals through bites from infected fleas. The bacterium can also be transmitted to humans from flea bites or bites from infected animals.
Sounds like some laboratory created release shit to me. Just saying. I'm not saying that that's what happened, but that's what it sounds like. Some gain of function, because fleas ain't been doing that shit.
Yeah,
so what did they just? How did they just all of a sudden? How did fleas get the black plague in them?
Shit, it was Lyme disease at first.
All of a sudden. How the fuck did they get Lyme disease in them? All of a sudden, fleas didn't have. It just developed. Yeah. So all that shit is suspect, man. All right. You can't trust this man. All right. They go in their labs and a bunch of mad scientists. Right.
That's the same story they gave back in 2019. Oh, well, they can be transmitted from bats. They can be transmitted from this animal. That's the same exact story they gave in 2019, and we see what came of that, man. And that was just the trial run. That was just the practice run of what's to come.
Yeah, man.
This is Sirach 39 and 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. So
that's exactly what I was talking about.
Hey, there'll be spirits created for vengeance. So we're entering into those times. It says fire, hail, famine, and death. All these were created for vengeance. So Yahweh Shem Yahushai controls judgment, good and evil. It says they shall rejoice in his commandment, and they're not going to transgress his word. So how much more when society breaks down and everything's free reign? And we're going to see those spirits created for vengeance.
That's right. Because guess what? Right now we hear these nigga women on the train platform going crazy. Somebody was able to call 12 and 12 pulled up. What happens when the police, when 911 is shut down? What happens when there's no more police to the rescue? One of them bitches gonna get thrown off the platform, and that's just gonna be that.
Hey, whatever happened already over. The screaming ceased.
Yeah.
They pulled up a little too late.
Yeah. Like that's the sign of the times to come, man. It's the scriptures say what? It's a time like it was never before. We understand what happened during the triangular slave trade, man.
Speaking on the slave trade, that brings us right back. We're talking about the lightning of the northern kingdom. All right, I have the images of a lot of those slave signs that were used. Those were northern kingdom people. That wasn't Judah. All right, the one when they wear the headdress and those were actually northern kingdom. All right, and they were very, very chocolate. They were very, very chocolate. All right, going back 500-600 years ago. All right, there was something called here it is. The brother found exactly what I was Yeah, it's this is AI brought it up. It's in English, black mental translates to whitening. More specifically, in historical and social context, it refers to the concept of whitening the population for various means, often involving immigration policies and social practices, sometimes linked to ideologies like eugenics. It can also refer to whitening of skin through cosmetic procedures. It says historical and social context. In Latin America, blanqueamiento refers to historical process where societies aim at to reduce the proportion of non-white population through immigration and social practices. So what they were doing is they were bringing in men from Europe to mate with the daughters of the natives of the dark-fleshed Hispanic people today, is what you would call them, to lighten them up. And so the mothers and the fathers push their children to keep mating with these lighter complected people. And that's how we get this what we have today. Right? But there's a remnant. Okay? And then that's another, and then that's also Esau being very carnal. Because you can lighten someone up, right? And that still doesn't necessarily mean that they're not the same people anymore. All right. Now, of course, any woman that brings forth, any brown-skinned woman that brings forth a child from a pale man that's an actual heathen, her children, her child, or any of her children, are of course, heathen. But then those children are going to grow up and mate with other Israelites. So you can't go according to color, man. And the same in Judah being hypocritical, the same shit happened to them. They so hypocritical toward the northern kingdom. The same shit happened to you, man. Right? You know how popular in Louisiana light-skinned nigga woman was? Right?
They always out there.
You watch that movie, Feast of the Saints, and they really were feasting on the saints. Right? When they were making all the red bone girls, they were putting them in the brothels. Right? They were putting them in the brothels and making them brothel workers. And all these rich Edomite men would come in and want to have relations with these light-skinned nigga women. That was or these light-skinned women who often were Edomites but just had Negro features because their daddies was white. Whatever your father is, that's what you are. End of the statement, man. And that's another good movie to watch, man. Feast of the Saints, man. And that one bitch committed suicide because she was so jealous of her sister. Because her and her sister both were children of the master. But her sister got to live in the big house, and she got to, didn't. And she set her sister up to get ran through by a whole bunch of men one night. And they practically banged her to death. A whole bunch of Edomites, took turns with her all night long, and she was a virgin. She had never been touched before. All right? Her own sister set up to do that shit. Little terror bitch. Go ahead.
This is Matthew 13 and 24. This is Matthew 13 and 24. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened to a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while man slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way.
And that's exactly what we just read. Go ahead.
It says, but when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also.
Right. So when you got this child who's the son, who's the son of a white man, and this child who's the son of a so-called black man, all right? But they look alike because they both, because the son of the white man had a Negro wife, and the son of the black man had a white wife. So the two kids look alike. You can't tell who's who. They both light skinned with some curly hair, Go ahead.
It says, Matthew 13.
But only one of them is a tear, though.
Right.
They both not tears.
Right.
All right?
Right. This is blanquimiento, which is, that policy still failed because over half of Latin America still is dark.
Yep, it still fails.
It's still dark. You just don't show it to mainstream media.
Ain't no black me Dominican.
Hey, more niggas got imported into Brazil than in America. You had Northern and Southern Kingdom here. A lot of Judah went to Brazil. Nigga, it says, Matthew 13:28, he said unto them, an enemy has done this. The servant said to him, without then that we go and gather them up? But he said, nay, lest while you gather up the tares, ye root up the wheat also with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them.
And so it's going to take the Lord to sort them out, man. I open all my videos the way I open for a reason, man.
That's right.
The Israelite foreigners that are scattered among the heathen that have the appearance of the heathen.
Yep.
Because some of our people look like the heathen, but they're not tares.
Right.
So the Lord's going to have to pick them out.
Right.
Now, when you're in the spirit, we can identify them.
God.
All right, when the spirit is dealing with you, you can identify, who's who in most cases, man. But go ahead.
And it's funny, the Clips got an album out called Let God Sort It Out. They just released this album. They rapping.
Yeah, it is.
Rapping. This is Matthew 13:30. Yahweh Shai said, let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them.
So some of these black-only Israelites gonna marvel when they not getting beamed up. And the dude that looks like Nanazaki getting beamed up.
Yeah.
All right, the guy that looks like the white guy,
Yeah.
the light-complected Hispanic dude,
Yeah.
he getting beamed up with your black ass,
Yeah.
still standing there, about to feel that fire.
Catching news.
All right? Because you gonna hide behind your brownness now, nigga?
Right.
Right.
It says, but gather the wheat into my barn. That's going into the salvation. All right? And the elect is going to get beamed up in the chariots while the whole world suffers nuclear apocalypse.
Exactly.
Right? That's the salvation. That's the strangeness of our salvation. That's why Esau is scared shitless of the chariots of the Lord. He keeps seeing things going on in the heavens. He can't explain.
And now information's come out that they've been killing pilots, they've been shooting down planes, they done shot down missiles, and ain't shit they can do about it.
They're toying with you.
Right? It's like a pit bull that roll up every now and then, just go in the dog in the yard and haul all your food, and then walk back out. Like, we gotta do something about this. But you can't. When them chariots show up, ain't shit you can do.
This going into also how you been talking about the wheat and the tares. That's why this is written this way. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 7 and verse 9. It says, after this I beheld and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. And we know that that's talking about the Israelites when you go into that word for kindreds. In the Greek, it's the word boule, which means someone who descends from one of the 12 patriarchs of the tribes of Jacob, right? And then it says, continuing on, in verse 10, it says, and cry with a loud voice, saying, salvation to our power, which sitteth upon the throne and unto the lambs. And all the angels stood around about the throne and about the elders and the four beasts, and fell before the throne of their faces and worshiped the Most High, saying, Amen, blessing and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving.
The Lord always send you an example, man.
Yeah.
That dude right there, that white guy that walked by, that dude an Israelite, man. He always sends you an example, man.
Yeah.
All right? Now, you had him camps. GMS is...
He's a white man.
Man, that dude was a Jake, man. Go ahead.
And honor and power and might be to our power forever and ever. In verse 13 it says, and one of the elders answered, saying unto me, what are these which are arrayed in white robes, and whence came they? So the elder asked him, hey, John the Revelator, who are these people? This is how he responded. And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest.
Right, because like that guy that just walked by.
Right.
John was from an era when, you know, Israelites weren't like they are today. So he like, I know salvation is only for Israel. I don't know who is this Lord.
Right.
Like that dude that just walked by. All right, but that dude was a Jake, man.
Yeah. Scripture say we're the salt of the earth.
He didn't have to say nothing. Just man, the way he was.
Rolling.
Right. Right.
No white guy walk like that, man. And the fade.
Definitely had a fade. He
Right?
probably reps somewhere.
Right. All black like the old man.
I ain't trying to-
Especially had black Air Force One. And he was saying,
Right.
Definitely. John the Revelator hit the elder with the, whose man's is this?
right.
Who is these niggas, man?
It pretty much, man.
You know, and he said, and just proving that point a little bit further, after John said, and I said it to him, Sir, thou knowest, and he said unto me, these are they which came out of great tribulation and have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb.
So what that's telling you is that many of the Israelites are going to look like the foreigners that are going to go through the sheep too. He said they just came out of the great tribulation. We're about to enter into the great tribulation, man. All right? Because, hey, you can not want to believe it, man, but Jacob's trouble is in its beginning stages, man. And it's only going to continue to get worse and worse. All right? And it might, all hell could very well break out this summer.
Oh yeah.
There's going to be major shit happen. We're in the first week of July, going into the second week. Yeah, if we make it out of July, we didn't make it out of June without major incidents. It's June, all right? And so it's going to get worse incidents in July, and then even worse incidents in August, man. All right? Hey, so with that, man, we're going to give all praise, all honor and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak with us. Wam Yasharallah, Abba Baba.
Time.